Well, thank you very much for the presentation, Federica, and also for the presentation of the guide, Cecil. For us, it was a very good and motivating exercise to apply the guide here in the case of Lima. The nature-based solution concept is still novel in the country and especially in urban areas. We have other concepts here, nature infrastructure, or some more indigenous knowledge that usually are applied outside of the cities. And it was a very interesting exercise to see the Greenbelt that was an ongoing project through the lenses of the guide. So the idea now is to present following the steps of the guide, so you can see how, in a very synthetic way, we can organize and systematize an EBS case in our cities. So the baseline, the step one, is where we can understand what's happening, what's going on in the place we are going to work. So just to know, some people, if you don't know where is Peru or Lima, so we are a country in South America, and Lima metropolitan area is a metropolis with 10 million inhabitants. But this is divided into 43 autonomous districts. And the Greenbelt is placed in the district of Independencia, which accommodates more than 200,000 people. And the main features of this district is that 41% of the houses are self-built and are located in the steep slopes of the district, where we have high natural risks of disasters. And for just to have as a reference, you have 2.69 square meters of green areas per person in this district. Important to say that Lima is a desert, so it's located on the coastal desert, but it's also a very fertile area because we have three rivers that irrigated all this land. So we have this, both can be very green and very arid too, and you have some seasonal ecosystems that also blows during the winter. So it's a very changing, and for me, it's very interesting landscape. And what's happening in the Greenbelt, the history of this Greenbelt, so it started in 2015 when the municipality developed a program called Greenbelt for my district. And the Greenbelt for my district had two stages. The first one was to forest some areas along the hills in order to improve the environment, but also to control urban informal expansion, and to try to avoid people to expose themselves to high risk along these slopes. And the second one was to develop, and then the municipality could delimitate what they called 7 sustainable ecotourism forest parks, together with the ecosystems of lomas, that in English we usually called fog oasis. And all these areas sums 400 hectares approximately. So all the strategy was to start working with people who lived in the last line before the Greenbelt, this empty, I would say empty or open area. And so these people could help the municipality on planting trees and taking care of these forestation areas. And we would have this line of, or this chain of small pocket forests connected that could make like a buffer zone that would stop people to keep growing the city up towards the hills. So since the beginning, it was a shared responsibility between the municipality and the communities. And between 2017, 2022, some projects started to take place there, uh, led by NGOs together with the municipality, and they could develop a local plan that recognized the green belt. So here in the picture, you can see it very green. This happens only during 3 months in the year, because here you can have these mixes between the Lomas ecosystem and one of the largest forestations that have more than 44,000 trees planted. And in 2022, they launched a plan, integral plan for the green belt. And this was the first time that the green belt was recognized as a nature-based solution, and it was strengthened as a nature-based solution. So all the co-creation elements of NBS were integrated on the green belt and were helping to recognize all the potential this area had. And for the step 2 of the guide, we should say what would be the vision of the green belt. So what we could extract from this experience was that by 2030, the Independencia Greenbelt would comprise a protected Lomas ecosystem, 7 sustainable ecotourism forest parks, and a network of nature-based solution on what we say macro interventions level. So here we have approach of different scales, from macro, that's really nearby the households, to meso and macro as all the system of the greenbelt. So it's have different scales of working on this area. We would have an effective public-private collaborative governance model for the greenbelt to ensure the sustainability of this area, and a funding mechanism that, apart from the public funding, leverages private interest to offset carbon and water footprints that could reinvert on this area. So when we went to the description of this initiative, so here we can see these 3 scales that I mentioned. I always have trouble to say macro, that's the small one, and macro as the bigger one, but you can see here in the picture. So macro scale and the level of the households, and meso scale, what we call these parches of lomas, ecosystems, or forest parks. And also we have some orchids that are already implemented there. And the macro scale is also all the landscape mosaic of the greenbelt that relates desert areas, lomas ecosystems, forestations, and these small initiatives from the communities. It was designed as this green corridor of multi-dimension and multi-environmental functions to face multiple challenges. This is a very arid area, so it was an issue to, first of all, to decide how much green we would like to implement there, because it's really hard to bring water to this area. So we had like defined like key areas that was the most dangerous areas that could be planted with trees as a way to avoid the landslides. And the other areas would keep as a desert, because this is part of our identity as a landscape. And also another key issue is how to access the greenbelt. So depending on where you live, it can be very hard to access the greenbelt, because it's very steep slopes. It's more than 40% declivity sometimes. So it demands some efforts if you live in the lower areas of the district. And one thing that was super strong in this project was the recognition of what we called green heroes. The green heroes are people around the community, some of them that were engaged from the beginning of the project, so since 2015, who already have a strong connection to the place and to the care of the greenbelt, and who could help to spread the voice along the other communities and engage more people and empower more people on the works to keep the sustainability of this green belt. So these are some characteristics of this, I think the main issues we have from this project. And when we talked about the value proposition, what called our attention when applying the guide was the health issue. Usually when we talk about environmental projects, we talk about the three dimensions of sustainability. We talk about environmental dimension, social dimension, and economic dimension. And I think the past years, health started to be some very strong issue on the also in the environmental discourse. And I think Cecil and the FAO team read this issue very well. It was really smart to add this specific value on the guide, and it makes us to think about another dimension that's key for urban environments and for urban NBS. And here are some examples of what we say about environmental value we could have for the green belt. For instance, the increase of the biodiversity, the improvement of air quality, the climate change mitigation, social aspects, to increase access to green and natural areas, to have more spaces for recreation and environmental education, to improve social cohesion. Health, we could improve better physical and mental health. We could decrease risk of developing chronic disease. And actually, this is a parenthesis, nowadays, the Green Belt is the issue of a project focusing on reducing the developing of chronic diseases. So this NBS now is being studied from the lenses of health specifically. And the economic value, it can reduce the costs of disaster risk management. It can increase in the hedonic value of homes near the Greenbelt. We can promote more local business, generate jobs, and increase income. And this last one, the first and the last one, are the two principal items for us, because it makes with people who lives there can see also the economic value of this green belt, and for them this is key because they are low income people. For the step 5, when we have the value creation delivery, so we have many points to take care of. I choose only one of them because otherwise my presentation would take half an hour. So if you think about governance, for instance, we said that what we have now is a collaborative governance. So here in the picture, we have people from the municipality and one of the local leaders walking around one of the areas of the Greenbelt and recognizing the problems and what they could do to improve this particular forestation. And we have also a Greenbelt technical group within the Metropolitan Environmental Commission and another Greenbelt Promotion Committee that are not working very well now, to be very realistic, but they already exist. So they're how the Greenbelt can be managed nowadays. And when you talk about the capturing the value, so how can we put it in some numbers or more in a way that's touchable, and it can be economic values, but also can be other kind of no economic values. So here I put on some of them for the environmental value. If you have the problems of heat waves, so the benefits of the Greenbelt, trees cool and provide shade. So plant and maintain 5,000 new trees, and the indicator would be tree cover. Of course, we could put this also to read this dimension using i3 as a platform, that the one of them that Cecil mentioned. i3 was already adapted to Lima by Ciudad Viva, so we could also use this system in order to have more indicators, more complexity on this indicator. air contamination, we can make the simple account for carbon capture. And then it's quite easy to know how much money we can save. So it can have approximately $640,000 per year, and so forth. So we were making this. What are the problem? What would be the benefits of the greenbelt, and the indicator we could use to monitor and to measure the benefit and how close we are from this benefit along the time. So we could have a strategy of monitoring during time to see how much we are approaching the targets and how much change we need to have or adapt the greenbelt to cover the objectives we have. And here I selected some thoughts from our experience. So only another parenthesis, the Greenbelt, I was coordinating the application of the guide, but we were a team of people working with the help of the municipality to some consultation to the municipality. So I would like to thank you all the team for doing this amazing job. And we were discussing effectively, okay, how the guide sums on our experience. And what we think is that the guide contains many dimensions of analysis and design that can help municipal teams, non-profit or private companies and entrepreneurs in planning and building successful NBS cases. So it's very complete and makes you thinking about everything that should be integrated in the nature-based solution project. And by applying the guide, we could obtain very rich data, but also have settled the key aspect we should use for having a very strong narrative and effective communication strategy. So with the guide, we have all the arguments we need to talk with whom we should. So this is a very great point. And the canvas, the one that Cecil also showed in his presentation during steps 5 and 6, also what's a very good way to systematize everything we needed, because it provides a roadmap with very clear indicators of who are the key stakeholders, who are the key investors, who are from how much it costs, and what are the values that will be generated by the NBS. And this could be a resource to help communities and municipalities to find some funding from the projects. Doesn't matter if it's a local funding or is a external funding. And also, I think the last one also, it's quite similar. The Greenbelt has this is made of very different pieces in different scales. And by applying the canvas, we could separate, okay, how could we take a look on this very small scale, the middle scale and the large scale, and which kind of investment and which are the actors or the stakeholders we should talk with in each one of the case, and how much they are related and how much they can work by themselves. So I think this is for me now. And of course, then we have some time for discussion. Thank you very much.